All right, you guys, here we have Anita Baker here. And she is out here in these streets. She is out here in the social media streets. And just when I thought Anita Baker was somewhere retired sipping mimosa, she comes out and exposes the whole industry, and she is not apologizing. By the way, I love that song. And she and many others in the industry has already been expressing similar dealings with the industry because they don't play fair. So this is what Prince had to say a while back about this situation that keeps repeating itself.
Reason why it became such a big deal back then is ever since my third album, I wasn't really taking large advances from the recording companies. I was recording the albums myself in my own studio. So the way I looked at it, I owned the work because I paid for it. And I did all the work. I created it, so I felt like it should belong to me. That said, the companies felt otherwise. And they would always hold this contract up and say, well, you signed it. And I say, well, I understand that. It's not like I want to leave. I just want to, talk about this thing and see if we can't make it more fair. Of course, they wouldn't change because if they changed, they wouldn't really exist. And that's kind of the situation we're in right today. They're not going to exist much longer. It's not like we're against them or anything like that. The idea is that we find better ways of working with one another. It shouldn't be a situation where they own the album or the work. We're talking about intellectual copyright. If they're going to be indeed a delivery service, then that's fine. But even FedEx doesn't say that they own the thing that they ship, right? It's all.
Now you heard him speaking about ownership. Now nowadays you're able to be an independent artist and you have having ownership of much more than they did back then. But Anita Baker, they didn't want to return her masters and are making her fight for what is rightfully hers. And she wants y'all to hold off on streaming her music until she can get things up and running, until she can get out of this rapture that she is caught in. Because she is fighting for her music rights. Now, if you read this tweet, she says, let me go down here. She says, despite a legendary catalog of music that includes 5 platinum-selling albums, R&B icon Anita Baker is now asking fans to halt the purchase and streaming of her music. In a host of tweets, Baker disclosed a battle she's currently embroidered in with her label, commenting on how she miraculously outlived her artist contracts. The Detroit native pointed out that her rightfully owned masters are still not in her possession, referencing copyright reversions, which is an artist's ability to regain copyright of their work after an allotted period of time. Baker says she prepared to fight for her bodies of work. They no longer own my name and likeness, she wrote. By law, 30 years masters are to be returned to me. Okay, here's the tweet that she put out. Here's the tweet. Miraculously, I outlived all of my artist contracts. They no longer own my name and likeness. And by law, 30-year-old masters are to be returned to me. Unfortunately, they're going to make me fight for it. I'm prepared to do that. Please don't advertise / buy them. So she's letting y'all know, do not stream her music. Do not, engage in this buffoonery that the industry is trying to pull, making money off of her and not returning her masters to her that she rightfully owns. And it says right here, master recordings aren't owned by artists initially because record labels finance the money to produce and promote the album, and artists are paid via record sales. For singers like Baker who have outlived their contract, royalties for their work are still being paid elsewhere when they don't have copyright possession of their master recordings. So she said that many other artists have been going through the same things regarding ownership. Now, things do get a little tricky with publication, distribution, and mastering, and you can research those things, and every contract is different. And this lets you know that there's always some type of loophole in this stuff, and the industry is sneaky and will always find a way to profit off of you some kind of way and make it legal even if you outlive the contracts. Now, the same things happened to Prince and Michael Jackson. The industry made a big chunk of what was left to the rightful owners. And when you start putting up a fight, strange things start happening.
This is very important because throughout the years, Black artists have been taken advantage of completely. And it's time now that we have to put a stop to this incredible injustice. And like Mrs. Sharpton was saying, people from James Brown to Sammy Davis Jr., some of the real pioneers that inspired me to be the entertainer that I am. These artists are always on tour because if they stopped touring, they would totally go broken. And it's been the record companies really do conspire against their artists. They steal, they cheat, they do whatever they can, especially the Black artists.
All right, y'all heard that from Michael Jackson. This was his speech in 2002 against Sony Music. But Dave Chappelle was able to succeed in his fight for ownership, so all hope is not lost. So, Miss Anita, just be careful out here with the industry because they can't be trusted. All right, you guys, that is what is going on with her. I'm out.